What is up? Welcome.
How'd you do that?
I am so balling now. Isn't it sick? Oh fuck, I feel like a baller. This shit's so much fun, man. It's I love it, man. It's this new app thing that we're using is so much fun. The only thing I don't like is in this top left corner here where it says 0 viewers, it doesn't actually tell you how many viewers you have on Twitter, which is always more than pretty much anywhere else. But hey, welcome to another episode of the No Instructions Needed podcast. I am your boy, Chapsy Dapsy Babsy. This is my boy over here, Ray. Oh, no, that way, Mr. The Big D. How's it going, Big D?
Oh, I'm pretty good, man. Just waiting for our boy Jules to pop in anytime now, bud. But yeah, up a bit. Oh, is he here? Oh, right on cue. I was just calling you out for being handsome.
What's up, fuckers? Oh shit,
we're live.
Never mind.
Everywhere.
I say it again. What's up, fuckers? I love you, boys.
What's up, you little guys?
Yo, so Dean, are you doing the podcast in like another room? I noticed this last time. You got
my brother. So like the way I had it before, like my computer cord, you had to like step over it every time you wanted to move from like the living room to the kitchen. And my brother came over from Berlin. He's like, "This is so stupid, man!" And he started like moving around my stuff. I'm like, "Don't." He's like, "Dude, just." Well, because he was like cleaning with me too. We were vacuuming. He's like, if it sucks, move it back, and with the intention that he knew that I would never move it back. So now it's actually like a lot more open space in my apartment, so it works out. So Blake, you win this round.
The Germans, very smart. I know it's not actually German, but I mean, you get the point.
Yeah. So stupid, man. It's just so stupid, and he like just like starts rearranging my apartment.
All right, so I don't know if Konzi's going to make it. Sorry, working guys on the phone, or would have let you know beforehand. All right, Konzi, that's back-to-back weeks, but that is A-OK Mon Swago. So, Dexter, do you guys want? No, let's follow the ticker. You see that little ticker? We're fucking fancy now, boys. Look at the ticker. Yeah, I dropped the $50 on the app.
I was about to say, like,
it was an impulse buy. Oh, Jules, you should have saw the intro. You missed it. I'll give you a little preview. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. And it was like a countdown. It was like Jericho. Remember Y2J?
Oh,
but
break the walls down.
Break the walls down. Oh,
and yo, Breeze.
This is the worst possible start right here. Of Walls of Jericho already. Was that the best ever entrance by anybody to the WWE?
I think it had the most hype. Like they like teased it for like a month or two, and then like when it was like countdown to Y2K or something, or countdown to 2000, like all of a sudden in the middle of a show, it just like stopped, and like the countdown went from like 20 to 0, and Jericho came out. Like, yeah, that was huge. I remember I was freaking out when it happened. I was like 12 probably.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Taz, when they teased it was pretty big too. And I mean, I felt like in hindsight, it was like the most underwhelming intro to a person, but like Taz also had a very, long-winded intro that he was going to be joining like the WWE, just like Y2J, but like that Y2J pop, it's like it's definitely top 5, I think, next to like John Cena or even Edge like returning back.
I think Chaps and I can both agree on this one because we were watching it together.
Oh, the Hardy
the WrestleMania, the Hardy Boys.
I said top 5. I didn't say that they weren't in there. I just said
I know, but I had to mention it because like me and Chaps were like
drunk.
Late 20s and freaking out in our like in Chaps's lake house. We were like, I was like 30, and I was like,
it was so unexpected. That's why it was so badass. I loved every second of it. The biggest pop for me that I've ever heard is I didn't even like it's all through social media, but that one that John Cena just got a couple like months ago in the summer, like it was awesome because Pat McAfee too is just like Michael Cole's like, oh my god, it's Cena, and then McAfee's like, where?
But Edge was at Royal Rumble.
Oh, that was sick too.
Yeah,
that was big, man. And then he's like emotional, and then everyone in the crowd is crying. It's pretty big.
From this place, I see clearly.
I can see clearly now. Oh, it's so good. I went to a Royal Rebel once. It was fun.
CM Punk at AEW was huge too.
Yeah, but that's so overhyped. They pipe in crowd noise and shit like that.
Well,
Like
there's that one guy that's like bawling his head out.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Woo.
It was quite the pop for Goldberg when he first came in too. Like there's a couple really really good pops. Booker T, if going back into the youth here, like that's what we miss in WWE. Man, we're supposed to talk. Look at the ticker; it's not even close to what we're doing right now.
Well, off script. Welcome to the podcast where we have an idea of what we're going to talk about, and then don't fucking talk about it.
So true. It is so true. So, you guys want to do a little NFL playoffs right now? Should we get that out of the way right off the hop? Because I might try to release this like early, like tomorrow, so people can say, "Oh no, they did. They were
wow, right." Bold. Trying to release it tomorrow. My
Bold
God.
No, not the podcast. Whoa.
Even still.
Yeah, it's not
holy.
Definitely not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the NFL, just to like summarize, it's been a complete, I don't want to say it's shit show because it hasn't been terrible, but it's been all over the place this year as far as teams that we thought were going to be good, who were good and then weren't good and they got good again. Indianapolis Colts, I think, might be like the enigma of this season because they had no reason to not make the playoffs. Like, even if they weren't trying, they still had to win a game against what was arguably the worst team in the NFL this year, and they couldn't hold their jockstrap. So it was weird. It was interesting. A lot of money was won and lost by us and by Vegas. But as far as our preseason picks, my two teams are in the playoffs. So, I mean, I picked the Titans and the Rams to go up against each other in the Super Bowl. There's still a chance. Do I think that's going to happen? Something tells me that unless, Aaron Rodgers really, really fucks something up, he should be in the Super Bowl representing the NFC. And, I mean, I think it's going to be Pat Mahomes, which I think would be kind of nice to see Pat Mahomes go up against an Aaron Rodgers. You get Brady, you get Rodgers, you're going to lose both of them. Very exciting times.
So let's go through the games here, okay? Let's just do that. First of all, let's just pick MVP here real quick. Who was the MVP of the 2021-22 season? Go Big D. Can't say Herbert.
Oh, man, I wish I could. All right, I'm going to throw – it's a bit outside of what the pundits believe, but I'm going to say TJ Watt.
Defensive Player of the Year for sure, 100%.
I think he could be MVP, man. He broke the record playing, or he tied the record playing one less game, I believe it was. Even though there was one extra game of the season, he played one less game. Yeah, it's just like he runs that team, man. If they didn't have him, they wouldn't be anywhere close to having a playoff spot, I don't think. So I'm gonna go TJ Watt.
I mean, realistically, they were a timeout by your team away from not being in the playoffs.
Well, they still made it.
And this is, I mean, he had a great season. I don't even think he'd be in the top two, to be very honest, just the way that the voting normally goes in the NFL. Is he deserving? 100%. I think it's A-Rod. I mean, it was Brady for the longest stretch of the season. He broke some records, but if it's not A-Rod, it's either his baby toe. If it's not his baby toe, it's ivermectin. If it's not ivermectin, it's Joe Rogan. But it is something to do with Aaron Rodgers. He is certainly the MVP. I think the way he led that team in Green Bay overcame a lot of stuff. And when he wasn't in the game and Jordan Love was in there, it really showed the difference that he has on the game. I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I think it's Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp did he had a phenomenal season. I just don't want to see their quarterback win. I get so sick of the quarterback. I like the TJ Watt pick. Realistically, it's going to be Rodgers, which I'm okay with him winning because listen. You got to put aside your differences when it comes to his personal life. It's not anybody's business, or it's not. I should say it's not anyone's business, but it's just not relevant unless he's killed somebody or done something worse. It's just not relevant to what he did on the field. And I think that Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. of the NFL, which is awful to say, but it is. And or it's Tom Brady. I mean, to be realistic, he led the league in passing touchdowns and receiving. So you know what? We're just gonna break away here real quick. We're gonna add this guy to the stream because this guy had a question for for the Big D himself.
What up, Jay?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Good to see you, buddy.
Good. Hey, I got a question here, mainly for scientific, but mainly erotic reasons here for the Big D. The Big D, the man with the mane, the lover of margaritas, and the one with the enormous smile. Do you pee in the shower?
That's a great question.
Every single time.
Excellent. Drains all go somewhere, right?
I don't think I can't remember a time where I haven't.
I think everyone pisses in the shower. Everyone pisses, I think, in the shower.
Well, like just the running water, just like the sound of it. It just, even if you don't have to, it just something clicks in your body, and you're like, oh.
Have you ever done it without the water, just for freestyle?
Yeah, like if you're about to get maybe if you're about to do some stuff with a lady and you have to pee before and you don't want to make a mess, you just...
What is happening?
I don't know. I don't know what you guys are doing. The one thing I will say that's weird that I do sometimes is if I'm watching a movie in like the living room, instead of walking upstairs, I will go outside and take a piss off my deck.
Oh my God. What are you, 12? Jesus Christ.
Hey, I got a rooftop patio and I'll deal on my rooftop patio. I mean, it goes into gutters anyways, so.
Holy fuck. The west coast of Canada is clearly fucked up, people.
No, I'm from Syria and I have zero standards, so.
It's one of the many perks of being a guy. It's probably the best perk. You can go where you like.
It's true. It's very, very, very true. There you go.
Maybe it's me just from like working at summer camps as like an adult and understanding that like young boys who were in my cabin liked to pee off of the porch. After a while, that shit smells so bad. And so maybe that's the reason why I'm like, just go take a leak in the goddamn toilet or go piss in the shower with running water or still water. Who gives a fuck? But just don't pee off your porch or your
easy.
Whatever.
No, do it. Piss off the porch. Awful. I got trees right there. Piss all over the trees. Great.
Well, you know what? Thanks, boys, for answering my question there. Like I said, it's purely for scientific and erotic reasons. I'm going to go slay my wife right now. So
that's my guy.
All right. Love you, Big D. Love you, boys. Love the podcast. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. This guy.
See you guys.
That was awesome. What a good guy to come in.
That's our number one fan, Jay. That's whose wedding I went to in Palm Springs a couple months back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've been working on that for a couple hours, getting him on the phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been all over. Okay, tell me how I. Tell me
how did you find him?
He interacts with our podcast on Instagram, buddy.
But yeah, here's the thing. So Dean clearly doesn't have any, sign in because all day my phone's been blowing up with messages between Chaps and this guy, literally this guy, and I'm like, what is happening? He's coming on. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go, and then I figured out it sounded familiar, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be Dean's buddy. But yeah, literally all day, Chaps has been wheeling and dealing this.
Bling, bling, bling.
Well, it cost me $500 to get him on the show. It's fine. It was
that's a bargain.
All right, MVP. We got that figured out. Let's just go through the games this weekend real quick. Okay, guys. Vegas, Cincinnati. Who you got? Why? I will start. As much as I want to see Derek Carr win, because I think it would be awesome for everybody. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. It's just I think it's gonna be too much. I think the Cinderella story ends, even though I don't want it to. I believe the Cinderella story ends, and the Bengals get their first win since text messaging was invented.
Okay. Cincinnati is like a top 3 favorite team of mine.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I think they're gonna win, but if you've known the heartbreak of a Cincinnati Bengals fan, it's hard for me to say that because there have been several playoff games where they should have won, and the one that comes to mind is where they were up like pretty big on Pittsburgh, and then the Pac-Man Jones unnecessary roughness penalty like cost them the game. And like there's just been so many heartbreak Andy Dalton, AJ Green type scenarios, but I'm gonna stick with my guys and go Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you. I mean, if Cincinnati's going to lose this game, it's going to be to a Vegas team that everybody, for storyline purposes, would love to see them win. I just don't think this is the Cincinnati Bengals team of old. I think the head coach is gone, the juju's gone. This is a completely different team with a completely different feel. I think between Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow, and Chase, they're going to do a lot of damage. And don't sleep on that defense. I mean, the only way this game stays close is if there's like 4 pass interference calls that Derek Carr gets, because that's what he loves to do. Throw the ball like 30 yards, not hoping to complete a pass, just hoping that one of his receivers gets him like mugged down the field. But I have a feeling that this is going to be maybe a close game, but I think it'll end up being like a 10-point game when it's all said and done. Cincinnati Bengals, they're going to roll.
Okay, I agree. I think it's going to be. Listen, I really want them to win Las Vegas because I think it's neat. But let's move on to the next game. Oh man, hide your boner here, there, Big O. Pats Bills. Who's winning?
I'll start. It's the Patriots. There you go. Now you guys can go. That's all I'm going to say. It's the Pats. Never seen the Bills. Fuck them.
Bills are gonna. I got to put my $10 free play on Bet365 on the Buffalo Bills covering the spread.
Oh.
So that's all you need. All I need to say, Daps.
I don't know what's. I mean, fuck, Buffalo's a huge favorite. Like not the 4.5, but money line wise, holy shit, they're almost 3-1. Listen, I can't, how do you bet against Bill Belichick in the playoffs? I have a tough time doing that. I just do. He's the greatest coach of all time, so it's very tough of me to do that. I watched him take away, countless superstars in Super Bowls. I've watched him take away countless superstars in everything. I just think it's Buffalo's time. I do. I think it's finally their time, and I think they've had a rough season. I think that's a good thing because it wasn't that easy for them. I take Buffalo. I don't know if I take the points, though. I think this could be like a 28-25 game or something like that. Last-second field goal. Or even lower, maybe even like 14-11, 14-10 or something weird like that because it's the weather is going to be bad. There's going to be a lot of Patriots fans in the building now because 18% of the fans can't come down from Canada to watch the game. So they're selling tickets for $30 a pop right now for a playoff game. It's wild. But I do think the Buffalo Bills win. Now, go ahead, Big O. Finish us off on that.
I just mean you said it right there. I think the weather's going to play a factor, and we've already seen what that looks like. Does that mean that the Bills will play as bad as they did in their first loss against the Patriots? No. But I do like Bill Belichick, and I think that's probably the reason that with such confidence I say Bill will get it done. It's because Bill, time and time again, against no other team other than the Buffalo Bills. Again, look at the last 20 years. It's been crazy how much he has figured out how to stop them on offense. On defense. Forget the weapons they've had on offense. This Patriots defense is going to be the reason. If they win, will be the reason why. It will not be the offense. It'll be this defense creating turnovers, keeping the game close. I think the Pats get it done for that reason.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I don't. Well, I do think you're wrong, I guess. The Buccaneers and Eagles. I'll start with this one. This is a weird game. If I'm betting this game, I take the Eagles and the points, and I also bet the Eagles money line. That's how I bet it. I don't know if that would happen or not. But if you're asking me with my life on the line right now, I'm picking the Bucks to win overall, but sprinkle a little bit on that plus 8.5. I think you could make some money on that.
I am going to say I agree with you there. Bucks win, but I don't know if they cover. I don't know. Watching Philadelphia is like the most infuriating thing ever. I feel like you're a fantasy owner because it's like Jalen Hurts just every play is a scramble and he like ends up running it. So it's very infuriating, but I don't think he's quite there yet to battle the likes of Tom Brady, Bucks win.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking anything about the Philadelphia Eagles, it's because you're betting value and not for any other reason. Because that's where the money is. You can't take the Bucks money line or the points. Well, you can take the points, but they're unlikely to cover. If you look at what they've lost, Antonio Brown, believe it or not, was a major player on that team. Mike Evans still a little banged up. Lost Chris Godwin for the season. Leonard Fournette still a little bit banged up. If they can't run the ball, they're pretty one-dimensional. So I like the cover of the points for Philly, but I mean, this would be the most shocking loss in the first round. Outside of Pittsburgh beating KC, that would be the base one. But then again, you could still see the storyline of Roethlisberger last season, Mike Tomlin. There's a lot more going than if Philly were to find a way to beat the Bucks, but I think the Bucks get it done.
Someone forgot we were on live stream, I think. I think I'm telling you, the Buccaneers have a terrible run defense too. And what's the number one thing that Philly does good is run. So it's going to be interesting. It really, really is. The boys, and those Niners. I'm kind of excited for this game. It hasn't happened in a long time in the playoffs. It's kind of neat to see. We were never really football fans when this rivalry was kind of like in depth and being awesome. So I'm excited to see this game. You know, plus 3 points for the 49ers. They're underdogs by they're getting 3 points, and they're 2.4 on the money line. So Dean, where are you going? Who are you picking?
Cowboys cover.
Wow.
Both teams have good defenses. Dallas has a very good defense. I think really what it comes down to is the quarterback, and I don't even know who's starting this game. I'm going to go with the assumption that Jimmy Garoppolo is starting, and he's just not nearly as good as Dak Prescott. Game, set, and match. That's what's going to be the difference maker, because both have good running games, both have good defenses. Dak Prescott is far and away better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
This is why I take Kyle Shanahan over Mike McCarthy. And I think Dallas finds a way to do what Dallas does, and that is lose a game that they probably shouldn't. They might even be winning late in the game. But give me Jimmy G, give me the unstoppable Deebo Samuel, who is the best running back wide receiver in the league. I do agree Dallas's defense is probably the best. I mean, Diggs, another person who could be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, and Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons, 100%.
Yeah. Who's probably going to win Rookie Defensive Player of the Year.
Unanimous.
Yeah. I think the 49ers find a way to do it. They're going to get it done. They're going to surprise a lot of people. And I think the NFC West is going to be well represented come NFC conference time. I actually think you might see two teams, if mathematically we can get it there. I think you might see two NFC West teams battle it out to the Super Bowl.
Well, listen, Karamia got tapped out by Jimmy G.
People are going on to like Google, like, oh, was that porn star that he was dealing with? Yes, that is exactly what Chaps is referring to.
I believe the quote was, "He made me tap out." So he's got a big dick, and guys with big dicks leading teams, franchise that style, are gonna win games. But I think Prescott.
That's what we're basing it on.
But I think Prescott has a bigger dick, so I'm going to say that the Cowboys win. I think Cowboys' time is up here. I think they're actually going to be one of these teams too that could make a run. I'm betting Cowboys. I would take the points at 3. I've seen San Francisco lose to Seattle twice this year, and Seattle had hurt players all at each game that they played and everything else. So I don't know. They scare me. The 49ers, if they won the Super Bowl, I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. If they lost by 40 against Dallas, I'd be like, yeah, that's the team that I've seen twice this year. So I'm going to stick with Dallas because I like Mike McCarthy. I think that he gets a lot of shit for literally no reason all the time. He does. He won a Super Bowl.
It's not no reason. It's not no reason.
No, his time management's bad. I'll give you that. But every other reason about the plays he calls and all that shit, Aaron Rodgers chokes in the playoffs. Like, he's proven that with Matt LaFleur already. but they're still blaming McCartney for his losses. I'm sorry. He's not very good in the playoffs, but
McCarthy,
I'll get off that.
not Paul McCartney.
And
Yeah,
not
whatever.
Jesse
Same fucking-
McCartney.
Who's Jesse McCartney?
singer?
I don't want another
come on.
pretty face. I don't want just any.
How about Jenna
No one but
McCartney?
you.
No, I think that's McCarthy. Or, no, that's McCarthy.
I think it's
Next
McCarthy
game.
again.
I'm taking Steelers minus 13 or plus 13. I'm taking.
Yeah,
the
but you're not
points.
expecting them to win. Like, so here's the are we picking the teams we think are going to win, or is this from a betting perspective?
win. I will say that's. Ooh, you know what? There's some destiny stuff here in this for me. There is. It's just that rapist might be able to get to the second round of the playoffs.
We're live.
In the NFL, you have to
What do you
specify.
mean? Yeah, we're
which one.
live. That's not lying about anything, Dave. Don't look. Type in Ben Roethlisberger sexual assault. Guess what pops up? 2 cases. Anyways,
I'm
Kansas City
taking the
should-
Chiefs.
Kansas
They're
City's
too
gonna win.
good. They're too good.
Yeah.
I think they're going to cover.
I think they're clicking at the right time. I think a big factor in this game is going to be the health of their running back, because they have shown that if Charles whatever Hilaire is not in the game,
He's not playing.
exactly. They have not played well without him, especially when you have to go up against the defensive player of the year in TJ Watt. I mean, that plays a huge factor. They can't run the ball, very one-dimensional, and as much as Patrick Mahomes is great moving around, this year he's kind of struggled with it, and good defenses have had an opportunity to shut him down. I think this game will be closer than people think. I think this is going to be like a 6-point, 7-point game. There's a lot of destiny stuff, as we've mentioned before, and it would be kind of funny for Roethlisberger, who was probably praying that he didn't have to go to Arrowhead and play this game while the Chargers and Raiders fucked everything up for the entire league in the last game of the season. But hey, he's like, fuck it, let's do it live one more time. He could very well be like 1 for 27, or he could be like 14 for 20 with a chance to tie the game late in the fourth quarter. I don't think they get it done, Kansas City Chiefs, but it'll be close.
Reminds me of Peyton Manning's last year, man. It does. There's a little bit with that defense and that run game and stuff like that. Like I wouldn't be surprised. I just wouldn't be.
Peyton Manning wasn't as bad as Ben was this year.
Oh, man, look up Peyton Manning's stats.
No, if you look it up and compare them, they are not the same. As much as Peyton's numbers were down from what we expected from Peyton, they were not what Roethlisberger did this year.
You guys break down the next game. I'm going to look up those numbers because you will be fucking shocked. LA Cardinals. Go ahead.
I think Cardinals are a bit of fool's gold here. I like the Rams. Killer D, Killer O. They got the staff, man, ready to go in the playoffs for probably the first time in like 10 years, I'm assuming. I don't know. Detroit was terrible for so long. So he's going to be pumped up. Cover, Rams, the whole enchilada.
Yeah, I like the Rams. They're my preseason pick to win the Super Bowl this year. They obviously have been very Jekyll and Hyde all season. But I think, and this is crazy to think because we've seen some pretty spectacular games, I think we're going to see a real breakthrough, remember my name type game from Odell Beckham Jr. Because I think the Cards are going to really look to shut down Cooper Kupp. Cam Akers could be a huge X factor in this game. First game back, he was supposed to be their starting running back at the beginning of the season. He got injured. He missed the entire season, and they have not had a good running game at all. And Cam Akers can run the ball. He was really good last year. So I think the Rams get it done. I think Stafford throws for 4 TDs, 2 of which to Odell Beckham. I don't think Cooper Kupp gets a TD. And I think the Rams remind people why they were, feared going into this season. Go ahead, Chaps. I see a little boner poking out there. Let's go.
Rams win cover. I think Arizona sucks. I do. I think they're actually terrible. Yeah, you're way off on this Peyton Manning thing, just to let you know. Peyton Manning, 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions in his last year, and a QBR rating of 44, quarterback rating of 67. Big Ben Roethlisberger, 22 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, quarterback rating of 84. Was he?
I stand corrected, rapist.
Peyton Manning could even throw a football at the end. I love him. He's like my favorite, probably top 3 favorite athlete. Anyways, who wins the Super Bowl? Why? This is it. Then we're off football. Let's just get it all out of the way. Who's winning the Super Bowl?
We just skip like 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah,
of
but
games
we're going
because
this will take like 3 hours if we don't do that. So who's winning the Super Bowl?
Rams over Titans. Sticking with my preseason prediction.
I'm sticking with mine too. Packers over Chiefs, I think I said.
I think you did, yeah. I can't stick with mine because I said Titans Seahawks, so that is not right. But I'm going to stick with my AFC team. I think the Titans are getting hot and healthy at the right time, and I think that they will beat the. Oh man, I'm going to do it. Am I going to do this? Yeah, I'm going to do it. They're going to beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
I think the Cowboys are going to go. I think it's their time to shine, and
Wah.
the Cowboys will be there. Cowboys, Titans, Super Bowl, be the biggest rating in NFL history. And there you go. Titans win. MVP, my boy, King Henry. That's going to be the ending.
Super Bowl MVP.
Also cuts off his penis.
Super Bowl MVP, Derek. I like it. Could very well happen, man. I think Julio Jones will have a little bit more to say than anything.
Ooh, that's good.
Like, think about that redemption. Julio Jones did nothing with Tennessee, comes in and 3 TDs for 220 in the Super Bowl.
That would be sick.
Let's go.
That would be tight.
Actually, so Chaps, you bring up a good point. It's actually interesting because they're talking about moving the Super Bowl to Dallas because of all the crazy stuff that's going on with LA and SoFi Stadium and the reduced attendance. Does that factor into whether or not they do choose Dallas, do you think? Like, do you think the NFL said if Dallas, because they don't have to come up with it, I think, until like a week or 2 weeks before the Super Bowl actually happens. That's their contingency. But if Dallas has a chance, like they're in the NFC Championship game, do you think that factors into whether or not they're going to move there? Or do you think that like maybe they go to Vegas instead?
No. I think that they already have to have the backup plan in place. Like, we just don't know where it is. And that's to do because with all the like getting teams there and all the stuff that you got to figure out beforehand, they've already have that pick. Dallas makes the most sense. So does Dallas or Vegas make the most sense just because of amenities around the stadium and weather and all that sort of fun stuff. So one of those two teams, or maybe like a Jacksonville, maybe as well, Jaguars, because it's already empty. They play Super Bowls all the time in Jacksonville. That's another good spot because it's already ready to go. You could already start getting it there. So maybe they look for a team like that that's out of it right now, and they've already picked it. So I don't think it matters. I think it's going to be in LA anyways. I just do, unless something crazy happens where literally the world shuts down again. I doubt that it won't be in LA.
Okay, I got a last NFL question just before we get off this. We've seen, and it has to do with COVID, and I'm interested in your opinions on this because we've seen the NBA and NHL and even the NFL postpone games. But let's say you have the marquee matchup of Green Bay versus Kansas City, and that's your Super Bowl matchup. And Friday, Pat Mahomes or A-Rod test positive. So if A-Rod tests positive, he can't play because he needs, I think, 5 days for an unvaccinated player. Pat Mahomes, I think, needs to return a couple of negative tests prior to being able to be okay to play. But let's say one of those two guys goes in and they can't play on Super Bowl Sunday. Does the NFL move the game?
No, can't do it. Can't fuck them, especially Rodgers. But
yeah, I'm with Chaps. No way.
It's part of the game. It's just part of it, right?
I think it's interesting. I don't know. I feel like the NFL just being the organization that it is, not saying it's the right way to do it. I could see him pulling some shady shit and being like, we're going to delay this game by a week. I really do. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, think the NFL is that gutless that if this came down to what would arguably be the two biggest factors in a Super Bowl championship, do they really want to see Jordan Love go up against Pat Mahomes? Or Chad Henne go up?
Oh, man, I love Chad Henne.
Like, I just, again, from biggest stage, I could see the NFL doing some grimy shit.
All right. Let's talk about Dexter.
Let's switch gears a bit.
Speaking of grimy shit, fuck Showtime.
Oh, yeah. First of all, I did nothing wrong by saying what I said because it actually didn't ruin the series. It didn't ruin the finale, what I said on Twitter. And I caught some heat from some other people, not just Julian. It's just like, fuck, it literally didn't ruin it because you knew that was going to happen. I didn't say, spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't say Dexter died or anything, right?
Sure.
I just said you knew in the second last episode that he was going to get caught. And I will say it. I don't care who hears it. How does a small town cop beat the Miami fucking PD? She used Google, a podcaster, and
we're in business, fellas.
And she took down the most prolific serial killer in United States history. It was the dumbest possible thing I've ever seen. Nobody in that show can act. Nobody.
Except for Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall. Phenomenal, and he ruins the series because he's so much better than everybody. His son needs to get punched in the face. Awful. Just awful. The main
Screw
cop,
you, Dad.
Screw you, Dad.
I'm a nightmare.
The daughter of the cop, terrible. The cop, terrible.
Molly sucked.
Who?
Molly was the podcast girl. She's
terrible. The bad guy, terrible. But I love the concept of the show. I like what they tried to do. It's just they should have done, it just didn't make sense. The ending, I'm okay with the ending because the last 5 minutes of Dexter's life was awesome. That's what would happen, right? He's going to get caught. And he's trying to do all this stuff. It's just that last. The fucking small town cop, 250 people in town, you get caught.
Here's the comparison I have. It reminded me a lot of The Sopranos. Not saying the ending was trash or anything like that, but just when Michael C. Hall's running through the snow, I'm just picturing Tony ditching the gun and running after Mike from New York gets the FBI comes by. And it's just, that's what you think is going to happen. What's happening to Dexter Morgan is what everyone thought we were going to see at some point Tony go through. And we never got to see that point, right? We never saw him get cuffed to the point that Dexter got. We never saw him behind bars the way Dexter was. And so it reminded me a little bit of that. And then the comparison stops because with The Sopranos, you're left to think, okay, how does this end? Does he get killed? Does he not get killed? All of this stuff. And then with Dexter, you get the finality of him getting shot in the heart by his son, who kills him based on his own code, which is how they want to wrap it up with their pretty bow. And they said they made this season because it's not the end of the show, but they made this season because season 8 was so poorly received with all that crap. And to be honest, I probably would have rather just see season 8 be the last one if this was what they were going to do to get rid of Dexter Morgan. I like seeing him live on at the end of season 8, but I was very disappointed in the totality of this whole thing.
They are doing another season with the Harrison kid as the killer. Yeah. Oh, that's so effing weak.
Well, so
I'm gonna watch it.
It hasn't been picked up yet, right? And I think that's probably one of the biggest issues is because normally when you have a show that does really well, especially early on, I think the finale was the most viewed show in Showtime's history, the finale of Dexter. It hasn't been picked up yet.
And I did terrible in the ratings.
Well, except for the last episode, right? I mean, the last episode was huge.
Oh, maybe.
But no, it was the biggest episode ever in Showtime history. That's
Dexter New Blood?
Yeah, the finale, the last episode.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, man, they weren't even getting 1 million fucking people watching it live.
And
crazy.
so I think based on the poor feelings towards it and the reviews, I think it's really sad that I think the longer this goes, the less chance there will be of season 2 Dexter New Blood. And I don't think there should be. I don't think this show is one of those things where you can continue on with a secondary character to take on the mantle. I think you just say, hey, we did this thing. It was really cool while it lasted, but now it's over. Let's move on.
Interesting. I don't know if I'd watch that. I probably would.
Because even Batista sucked in his 4 minutes of screen time.
That doesn't make any sense either. Oh my god, so much.
Oh, I just have this case file laying around.
Shows up He just shows up to Iron Lake, like, hey, okay, let's see Dexter. Ah, fucker's dead, man. Like, he gone.
It's like he died 2 times. Oh God, yeah. I thought it was bad. I really just was not a fan. I mean, I love the whole idea of Dexter, looking at it from a series standpoint, but like the last 2 seasons, I think they just completely just did not know how to end the series. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, there was a lot of problems with it. I was talking to Chaps right after, and we weren't trying to spoil it for you, Jules. But I'm just like, how does he work close with like these 20 people, and no one suspects a thing until like it's too late for all these years? But this one girl dates him for like a year, and on her own can figure out what 20, 30 people that are much more qualified than her can't. So it's like, come on. So
Like.
Yeah, it left a bit of a taste in the mouth.
Would have been awesome if Dokes came back. Surprise, motherfucker!
I was waiting for a Vincent Masuka sighting.
Yeah.
So that's my point. Masuka gets published in the whole series of Dexter. Like, he is the best guy Dexter works with. He is renowned. He doesn't get the wheel mark that the ketamine needle goes, but some buttfuck nowhere chief of police
on pictures. They have access to the bodies in Miami.
Yeah, like and so she can Google image. Oh, boom! Look at this one. Oh, ketamine. Oh, look at this one. It's Dexter Morgan. 100%. It's a joke. Absolute joke. Fuck this.
It didn't make any sense, man. Like, not even a little bit. The other thing is too, the body that the ketamine was shown to have the wheel on. How does that thing still have a mark after being in the water? Salt water for that fucking long. Like, it doesn't know if it makes sense. It was the worst. Like, again, if he would have died, I'm okay with him dying.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm just not okay with how he came to die. And it you know what? They fucked it up twice, and it really, really it aggravated me. But it was a good ride. It was a good ride until
let's cast the worst actors ever.
How does that happen?
It's gotta be a budget thing. It's got to be a budget thing. Michael C. Hall's probably making like $50 million an episode.
Yeah, but Julian, they did it twice.
I know, chaps. I know.
How?
The only thing I did like about it was that it showed Dexter being a little rusty, a little too rusty for my liking sometimes. But I did like the fact that he had been like sober of killing for like 10 years or whatever. And so he was making different mistakes.
Rookie.
Well, but again, he's from Miami. He's not worried about blood in the snow and the fact that it'll preserve it. And it'll be, you know what I mean? Like, I like those kinds of things. But the thing I really liked about it was the way we find the bodies from Kurt as the other serial killer, where he's preserved them and they're like kind of in that like boxy kind of thing. I thought it was kind of morbid, but pretty cool. I like Dexter. I like it for that sort of, for the reasons that we see the serial killers do what they do.
But even there, like, right? Like he when he got caught, he was like, "Oh, you think I did all of this?" And he's like making it seem like other people are involved. And then he wasn't like this big monster. Usually when they get on the table, they're this huge monster. And he wasn't. I don't know. There were so many letdowns in that series. So many. But it was fun. It was fun till, like I said,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think the kid too, like, was such a dink when like he was being a effing piece of shit, and like he's like, "Oh, if I know anything about all the research I've done, I know my dad was a blood spatter expert, and I swiped that kid in the leg in the school gym." Like, you don't think he's gonna figure it out, and if he does, you're just gonna deny it and get mad at him as like some kind of defense to him for him back off. It's like, come on, you know he's gonna figure this out if you know anything about him. But he's like, "I didn't do it, Dad." It's like, come on, we both know he knows.
How did the guy figure it out though? Too, the serial killer guy. Sorry, I don't remember anyone's name. The guy
Kurt
that
Caldwell?
How did he figure out it was Dexter? That's never explained.
So yeah, he kind of does. The ash
rods, yeah,
right. But he talks about the ash being on his coat, and then when he realizes where the ash came from, he then clearly went to where Dexter burned the body, and when he found the rods, he was able to. I mean, it's a stretch, right? The fact that you have to go connect all those ridiculous dots within the last 3 episodes, right? That's where it all gets explained. It seemed rushed. It seemed really garbagey like that.
How does that happen though? Like, so he's just like,
Garbage.
oh, there's ash. I should go check the fire to see if someone burned my son. Isn't that thing like firing up every night in that town? By the way, what the fuck was that thing? I don't even know what the hell that was. Like, why is there a random fucking fire pit in the middle of this goddamn town? That's like,
I
Is
wonder.
that like
I wonder
a
if they-
factory or something?
I wondered if they like cremated the body, right? Like, 'cause it looked like it was one of those things where like where bodies go to get cremated. So maybe
outside?
It was. Well, it wasn't outside. It was in a building, was it not?
No, it's outside.
Jeff, there's ash flying from the sky. I wonder if it's my son.
Okay, my other big unanswered question is: Kurt's been living in this town for so long, and no one knew he had this cabin. And not only did they not know they had the cabin, but nobody saw the huge tractor trailer that clearly had to come and deliver like the storage unit, the 2 storage units that are buried 30 feet underground, and then pile it like.
Chaps and I were talking about this too. The chief of police like looks at these missing women every day, and like she's face to face with the guy that does it for 20, 30 years, but you can't figure that shit out. But you can't figure that Dexter in like the other side of the country is doing all these things. It's like, okay, how did Dexter figures it out no problem, and she can't, but then she figures out Dexter no problem. Like you're making these like very long lines, and like I just don't understand.
And like, so there's that too, Dean. But then there's also like all these girls were going to his truck stop, and so like the truck stop that he owns, he was never a suspect in like 50 missing women. Like it just none of it makes sense. It's just so bad. It's probably the worst thing ever. Like it is. I now see, even the more I talk about it now, the more the least I like it. Like it was. Was that kid gonna shoot up the school, or did he just stab him? Like, here's another thing. Like, what the fuck was?
Yeah, he set him up. He because he knew the secret, right? Like he knew the secret, and he used that to his advantage. And that was trying to show you that he thought like his father, that Harrison thought like his dad, because he knew the guy's secret after he stood up for him, but he wasn't going to act on it. And he even said about it. He said, "I use it to my advantage." Fucking weird, man. Fucking weird.
See, the more you talk about it, the more it sucks. That's the issue. And I can't. I'm happy it's done. I don't know. That Olympic hockey tweet now removed the Section 3 year was pretty funny. That got me too, by the way.
Yeah.
For a second, I'm like, holy fuck, is that actually? Because you could see it. Like, I could see Kevin Bieksa playing. Like,
well, because they threw a couple names that could be on that list. Like we already know Owen Power is on the list because they announced it. Connor Bedard is like, sure, I guess I could see a 16-year-old kid who hasn't been drafted, so he doesn't have any NHL rights. He can certainly go play. But then I was like, Danny Heatley. I'm like, how old is Danny Heatley? Isn't Joffrey Lupul out of the NHL because he's injured? Like it was funny. It was funny because so many people freaked out about like the old timer retiree team that allegedly was going to represent Canada.
Would have meddled. That team medals.
See, okay. I feel like the Scandinavian countries have a chance to have a say in that. I think Canada and the US are affected the most by the non-NHL players going. I think Sweden, Finland, Russia, because they have their own leagues, not they might fare a little bit better, just like the last Olympics.
Do you know what we're talking about, Dean?
No, I just sorry. I spaced for a second there. I wrote in the chat why.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I will.
Awkward.
You wrote in the chat. I don't see it. Oh,
No.
In the chat.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Great podcasting right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So
this is a new platform, Dapsy.
Oh, yes, it is.
There were about 19 solid players on this Team Canada fake tweet.
Yeah,
I wonder if any of them had COVID. Are all of them alive? I mean, it's a morbid question, but like realistically, some of these guys haven't played in the NHL for quite some time. Are we sure all of these guys were still.
Well, one of them's 50 years old. That goalie's 50 years old. One of them. So I don't.
Which
Like, he might Brathwaite or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fred Brathwaite?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's
he's
old
on
as
there.
you know what.
Yeah, he's old as shit. But yeah, so I don't know. It was a weird team. But it would have been fun to watch. This is going nowhere. Let's do a different subject here.
I got. Let me.
I'm back, fellas. I'm back.
Let me interrupt the broadcast here. This is. I think Dean will get a chuckle out of this. If he hasn't heard about this yet, it's kind of interesting. Drake made some news.
Oh, I heard about this.
Have you heard this, Chaps?
Chaps dips out.
Oh, okay. No. This is a good one. All right. So
no, it's nothing to do with his music. Don't worry.
Yeah. Drizzy Drake, aka Aubrey, was recently entangling with a Instagram model. One evening, they made coitus in their hotel room, and after Drake nutted in his condom, he took it to the bathroom, and instead of flushing it down the toilet, instead of emptying it out and then flushing that, he decided to pour hot sauce in the used condom to try to kill any semen that was left in there. Because, who doesn't do that, right? If you're Drake. Turns out the lady went to the bathroom and tried to inseminate herself with said splooge and got a very spicy surprise,
yes.
And now is alleged to be suing Drake for said spicy beaver. I know Dean's heard about this. Chaps, have you heard about this? And what are your thoughts on trying to get Drake's kid in you so badly?
I've tried. I mean, I can't believe anyone caught me doing this. I didn't realize this was a fucking story. Hashtag Cumgate 2022.
She's the semen stealer.
The semen stealer. Yeah. That's one of the most awkward things I've ever heard. But I do remember like being taught in like hockey camps and stupid stuff like that. Like, hey, make sure you take care of yourself this way because this is a possibility of stuff happening. And it's that's quite the story. Was she as hot as Ava Louise? Or is it Ava Louise? Maybe that's the
she's a model. She's attractive.
Crazy.
So
she's no Ortiz, but she's attractive.
My question for Dean is, what hot sauce is he using? Is he going Tabasco, or is that not spicy enough and go like a little? That's not
spicy enough. I don't think.
A little Tapatio in there.
Maybe some sriracha.
And is it in a packet? Is he like just like little rip and then like pouring it in there, or is he got like the bottle and he's just like shaking it in there, stirring it up?
Like it couldn't be that. It couldn't be like a sriracha because like if he puts like he could probably tell through the condom that it's like super red, so it'd have to be something more liquidy, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like that could just
that's a good point.
Without changing the color structure of it too.
Unless she just took a risk, like fuck it, just get it in me.
Or maybe Drake just comes red, like maybe he just comes lava, and she was like, "Seems pretty normal to me."
Hot lava.
Yeah,
that's a good question. What type of hot sauce was it? That is top 5 question right there.
I think we wait and see who's Drake's like next big endorsement is, and we know that that's the hot sauce he used. Like he can spin this. He can spin this so well.
That would be absolutely incredible.
Because Drake has been known to do this, and this has come out recently, obviously. But there are people in Drake's camp or friends of Drake that would be like, "Yeah, he's been doing this since he had his baby, since he had his son."
Yeah,
Drake has been doing a lot to protect himself. She also aired out some laundry about his schlong size as well.
Big, small, medium, large.
6-incher. He's like half a foot long is. But like so here's my question, not to talk about some other man.
Is this 6-inch?
Do we expect more from Drake? I'm just curious. If you had a multiple choice question, would 6 inches be?
Your mic is fucked. But yes, you're.
My bad.
I don't know. I don't expect anything more than I don't really expect more from people. The only one I know that has a huge dick is John Cena because he's like the peacemaker and shit like that. He kind of like he's got a peacemaker on him Like you can see it, but that's the only thing you can see on John Cena, actually.
Bam, 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 bam.
Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. You
Anyways,
guys watched it yet?
I thought that would be funny.
I still think he was doing this. This is how he was mixing it. Just terrible towel action.
Why would he just flush it?
Because he's an idiot.
Well, you also don't want to screw up the pipes, right? Like you don't.
Is it his house or her house, though?
I think
They're
they're
at
at
a
a hotel.
Who gives a shit?
Drake has a conscience. Jeez, maybe he owned the hotel.
Just flush it. Get it out of there. Be the way to do it. God damn. Or take it with you. Slip it in your pocket. Walk out. Gone. See ya.
Tied in a nice little bow.
Yeah. Put it in there.
Little to-go bag.
Yeah. To go. To go bag. Jesus.
Taking my kids with me.
Go.
God, that's so funny. Peacemaker. You guys seen Peacemaker? No,
I have not.
Don't worry about it then. It's just me. Awesome. Watch it. It's phenomenal. The opening sequence or whatever, like the opening credits, best thing I've ever seen in my life. Best thing. And John Cena is fully gone from WWE now because of there is some you see a pretty graphic sex scene involving him, and it's like, all right, you pretty much see his pee-pee. Like it's close. If he pulled, it's very close.
Like, is it prosthetic though? Do you think, or was that just
no? This is not prosthetic. I don't think it can.
All
be.
right,
but it's only maybe 5 seconds. But it's just you just got.
He was clapping them cheeks, eh?
Oh yeah, he was real
Jackhammer.
Jackhammer and a half. Good for him. It was very interesting.
Taking a page out of Goldberg's book.
Yeah, 100%.
The jackhammer.
He was not giving her the Heimlich. That's the only thing I can say. It looked a lot like it, though. It was just phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Top 5-second sex scene of all time. Gotta be 5-second sex scene or less. That's
okay. So, have you seen Monsters
he's like
Ball?
USA as he's fucking her. It's good. It's a good time.
Have you seen Monsters Ball?
Yes, that was not 5 seconds though.
Okay, so my thing is, do we take that as a whole thing? Because it's kind of like a montage at times, right?
It is a whole sex scene.
Okay.
But I see where you're going. That was a graphic one.
Shout out Halle Berry. Shout out Halle Berry. And Billy Bob.
My number one all-time sex scene, 5 seconds or less, 21 Jump Street in the end credits where he's banging the teacher. And she's got her legs wrapped around her or whatever. And she's like, yes, this is so bad. She's smacking him as they're doing it. It was awesome.
Okay, I need a time check from you, chaps. I know you've seen this movie.
Check.
The Wrestler.
Yes, I've seen it.
More or less than 5 seconds? Marissa Tomei's.
Ooh.
Because I don't know it that well, but I know it well, but I don't know it.
I will say more than 5 seconds, less than 8.
Oh, okay.
It was quick. She was a stripper in that.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Never seen it.
You never seen it? Oh, my rest. That's another good movie. How it ended though. Was he dead? Was he not dead? He was dead.
Yeah. Oh, for sure he's dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Mickey Rourke himself might be dead. He's not actually dead. I'm not killing another person. We're in 2022. We're not killing people unless they actually die. But Mickey Rourke he's a specimen.
Alive and well.
Alive. Did you guys hear your Marvel fanboy rumor this week of Iron Man?
What, you mean Tom Cruise? You mean the thing that's been there forever?
Well, these might be in the universe now.
Well, yeah. So he was rumored to be in the running when Robert Downey Jr. initially was getting in. He was the guy that they had initially had picked, Tom Cruise. But yes, with this whole variant storyline they're going, he could very well be Tony Stark. He could be one of the bad guys from the new movie of Doctor Strange. So it's very interesting. But what I want to talk about, we spoke about in our group chat, is DC now part of Marvel canon? Because for those of you who have not seen the Eternals, or for those of you who have seen it, they reference Superman and Clark. So it wasn't just a singular person, but they also mentioned Clark Kent. So are we acknowledging in the Marvel universe that DC characters exist? Dean, I want to get your thoughts on this.
I think that was confirmed when like it first came out. That is like they're acknowledging DC as I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. But I'd lean to believe yes, it could be another thing where like maybe DC is their superheroes, like their comic books and stuff like that. You know, for that universe, who knows? But I lean toward they're acknowledging them existing in the same universe.
Because it's like we haven't even got mutants yet, but we're gonna get Superman. Like it's crazy to me. Like what are we doing, Marvel? Chaps, what would you think if Kevin Feige figured it out and was like, we're gonna have a crossover DC Marvel?
I'd love it. I would absolutely love it because he would do it. They would do it right. They would make it. They would do it right. I think this also means that maybe DC's for sale. I think that's another thing that you could possibly look into all of that. Just by the way, Disney's for sale too, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, no, it's they would do it right, and they've already set the table now, so they didn't mention that for no reason. They did that for a very specific reason, and now we just see where it grows. It's just like when Murdoch comes into No Way Home. They do that shit for a reason, right? Like everything's placed in everywhere for a reason, and now it's just time to see it grow or not. I mean, as long as they don't touch the movie coming out in 49 days, the Batman movie, I'm fine. Leave that universe alone.
Did you see that it got a PG-13 rating, the Batman? They didn't make it. They want the money. They want the money, Julian.
But now it means like just like Snyderverse, like a R-rated cut of this movie that's going to be 3 hours long, just to get people's jollies up. Like I could very well see that coming on either HBO Max or even like a re-release in the theater, make even more money.
I was very disappointed, but at the same time,
I thought you might be.
I was just hoping for 14A. That's what I was hoping for.
That's a Canada thing.
Yeah, the States doesn't have that. They have PG-13 and then they have R.
I thought they had PG-14 up there. I thought I remember seeing either way. I knew it was never going to be like 18A or anything like that. Like it wasn't. And they could still do a scary, creepy, dark movie at PG-13. They can still do it. I'm not disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm not like, oh my God. And yeah, they want the money. It would have made $1 billion. That's the whole thing about DC, though. This is how stupid this is. The Joker was rated R, and it made $1 billion. So like that's like I don't know. They could have made $1 billion. It's a little bit of a misstep, unless this is the way he intended the movie too, because we haven't seen it yet. So maybe he only intended it to be PG-13. We'll find out, when we find out.
We'll have to see it.
Oh, I can't wait. I really hope that things are normal when that movie's getting set to come out, because if that movie
make them normal.
If that movie gets delayed, it would be very disappointing. Not obviously for that for them, but I mean, as a fan's perspective, like it's been a while since we've been able to be excited for something like this from DC, and I think it's going to completely live up to the hype.
Nos balls for everybody. I sent you guys that article. It's been proven. So,
you think I read anything you send me?
I see that you look at the dick pics.
No.
This is true.
All right, it's almost time to get out of here. We're getting close. We tried out a new graphics. It was wicked. You missed the opening, which was fantastic. And don't worry, I got a better one planned for next week.
Oh boy, here we go.
I just need some time to get it all figured. Is there anything you want to talk about, either of you guys, before we get out of here?
Only that I love you and I miss Conzi.
I miss Conzi too. Big O?
Miss Conzi. Excited for football. Mainly because there aren't going to be like really shitty games. So I think the condensed like 3 nights of football will be fantastic.
That's
betting wise. Yeah, betting wise and just viewership wise. But look, I'm excited. I just finished Dexter. So I think I'm going to dive into The Office now because it's back up on Netflix.
That's
So we might have like weekly recaps as to where I am and being able to finally participate in some of your fandom for the show. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting, but yeah, almost crazy. It's been just over a year, I think, now that we've been doing this podcast or approaching it. So listen, hoping for many more years to come.
Are we doing like a 1-year anniversary show or like
why do you think I'm testing out all these fucking graphics? Listen, it's been 1 year to the day that your guys' first ever episode that we were released, our first ever episode when it comes to podcasting. I think that's the best way to say that. A couple more weeks and it will be 1 year. Yes, I think it's February, just before the Super Bowl. I think we released our first show, like February 7th or 5th or something like that. So yeah, we're gonna do something. I'll get some stuff lined up. As Julian can see in the inbox and Instagram, I've already started planning a couple things, which would be phenomenal. Can you imagine if that happened?
Man, I should really use this inbox.
Chaps is a maestro of the podcast world right now.
I'm trying.
Does Julian have to do a cheeky ad read real quick here, or are we gonna?
Are we still getting paid? I don't know if is that up.
We're gonna go next week.
All right. All right. How about this? How about this for a little teaser?
I haven't seen any residuals.
Yeah, they're coming. Don't worry. We got it. It's building in the account for when Chaps hits us with another bill.
It's coming.
I don't want another bill. I thought it was going to take care of that.
I mean, yeah. FYI, the ad read next week might be changing. See.
Say what?
It'd be some fast times at Richmond High. All right. Thank you very, very much for watching. The people who came in and out on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Facebook. We appreciate everything. Be a friend, tell a friend. This has been the No Instructions Needed podcast. And we will see you mañana.
Deuces.
No, not mañana.
We'll see you
I say next week in Spanish. Anyone know? Next week. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
Bye. And